Amy with Experience the Quilt. Today we're going to learn a fun little Valentine block that you can turn into a pillow, a wall hanging, or a quilt. Come join us.
Welcome to Experience the Quilt. We are a long-arm quilting business based in the Boise, Idaho area. You can drop off or ship your quilts so that we can finish them for you. We quilt all sizes, no extra charge for batting or thread. Sign up for 15% off with your first order at experiencethequilt.com.
So today we're going to make a fun little quilt block for Valentine's, for your sweetie. Some things you need. You'll need 2 different colors of fabric. I chose a red and a black. If you're using a dark color, a bright color, you're going to want to go with another dark color for the top. So either a dark gray or a black are some of your best options. If you want to go purple and pink, you can do that too. Just pick a nice dark color if you're picking a bright color for the bottom. If you're doing a white or a light pink on your bottom, then you can do a lighter color on the top, just so it doesn't show through. You need scissors, regular scissors, and maybe some paper scissors. These are little, they're called applique scissors. They have like a little duckbill on the bottom, and you don't need them, but they're really handy if you have them. If not, just a smaller pair of pointed scissors are really helpful as well. And you need a heart pattern. So I just went online and found templates, and I made them different sizes because I wanted one that was with a bunch of little ones. I couldn't get it to go big enough on my printer. So I printed out some other sizes. So this is really, you can do whatever you want on this. I'm choosing hearts. You can do flowers. You can do all kinds of fun shapes. So next thing we need to do is cut out our hearts. So to do your wall hanging quilt block, whatever it is, you need 2 colors of fabric. A red and a black is what we're using today. If you're using a light colored for your hearts, you can do a lighter colored background. You just don't want the color showing through. So since we're doing a bright red, we're doing a black on the top. You need hearts templates. You can draw them, you can print them out from online. I just found some quick, what do you call them, die cuts, little heart patterns online and printed them out, different sizes. So we're just gonna organize them how we want them. And you'll need a white pencil, applique scissors, paper scissors, fabric scissors. If you don't have these cool little applique scissors, they have like a little duck bill here. They're handy, but they're not necessary. A little pair of scissors that are really pointed is pretty helpful when it comes to reverse applique, which is what we're doing today. So you also need, did I say white pencil? You need a white pencil. If you're working with black. If you're working with a lighter color, you can use any other kind of fabric marking pencil that you, or a pen or a marker that you want. So I have laid out my designs. Okay, so here's where we have it laid out. We're pretty happy with the design. So we just take you can take chalk, or this is a Prismacolor white marking, white colored pencil that I had in my Prismacolor set of colored pencils, and it works really well. So I love Prismacolor. Did you do Prismacolor as a kid? I just loved Prismacolor colored pencils. They always were like the smoothest, and they were always so expensive, and my mom would be like, you take care of those colored pencils. So I'm just doing a quick little trace with the white. So you can see we traced all of our hearts where we wanted them, and then I also layered my red with my black, and I cut them out the same size. Now we're going to take it to the machine and stitch. Okay, so now we're at the machine, and we're just gonna sew on that line. We're gonna follow in just a little bit of that line. And we're just gonna do a straight stitch. That way, my white pencil will cut it off. Does that make sense? Needle down, turn. So if you mark it with a pencil that can erase with an iron, that's handy, because then you don't have to worry about going a little bigger than your line so that it will just erase. But I don't have a white marker that erases with heat. They probably have one. I haven't found one yet. I really like the Pilot friction pens or highlighters, but they don't, even the green and the orange, I can't see very well on black fabric. They work great for lighter fabric. And this is my tie off. We're probably going to embellish these, so it probably won't matter that the white pencil shows, but you can see that our stitching, we got that all stitched up. We're going to do that with all the rest of the hearts. So now we've got all of our hearts stitched out. So now is the fun part. You want to make sure you grab the back fabric and the top fabric and pull them apart. See how I have them? I know that they are separated. So I've got this little black fabric here, and I'm just going to cut right into that. See, I didn't cut the back. So you just do a little snip, and then all you do is take your little scissors and start cutting away. Don't cut through your thread stitches, but just start cutting away. Now, if I use these, they're pretty cool, but it's backwards on this one. Maybe I need to do it this way. These are really cool. There you go. Because you stick that duckbill underneath and cut away, and it just makes sure that you don't cut what you shouldn't cut, if that makes sense. It helps pull them up, and it pulls up that black fabric and makes sure you don't cut the red fabric, which I never have with these kind of scissors. So these are kind of handy, and they're really handy with little things like the little hearts and stuff like that. They're a little bit easier, but really it's not a necessary thing. You really don't need them, but they're a helpful tool to have. These are Tula Pink's scissors. You probably recognize the little rainbow burnished color on there. She has a lot of fun tools that are just pretty. And we cut, I just am pushing that fabric towards the thread stitches, the stitches that I have there, so I get really close to my thread. And ta-da! You have a beautiful red heart sticking out. Isn't that so fun? So we're going to continue doing that with each of these hearts, making sure that we just really pull the red away from the black, do a little snip, and stick your, it's harder with that big duckbill, and then start cutting away. And if your heart isn't perfect, like we have a little bump there, it's no big deal, because then we can always embellish over it with some yarns or beads. There's just like endless things you can do to decorate this pillow or wall hanging, whatever way you want. So it's super easy to do. If you've ever, when you were a kid, colored your paper with lots of colors with crayons and then colored over top of that color with a black crayon, and then you took your scissors and you scraped the black away to reveal the colors and make a drawing, that was so fun. We did that all the time in elementary school, and I just loved it. This is very similar to that. You're cutting away and exposing the color underneath. If you'd like to do 2 different colors even, you can do that. I have done it where I've layered pink and red and then cut through 2 layers to get to the pink if it's on the bottom. And that's a possibility as well. It does technically waste fabric because you will then have, you know, all this extra fabric up here, but you could come in and cut that away before you quilt it, and then you have some scraps left. So if you're really picky about not wanting your fabric wasted, you do have these little pieces that aren't any good, unless you were to cut, you know, use it as a scrap. Some people are really resourceful that way. Sometimes I just want to get it out of my house. So now we have all of our hearts cut out. It's all done. And you can be done at this point and make it into a pillow, or you can quilt it and make it into a wall hanging, or make a lot more and make them into blocks. You have all kinds of options, or you can embellish it. So there's a lot of fun things that you can do with this, and you can do all kinds of fun shapes too.
If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. For more like it, just hit that subscribe button below and check out the rest of our YouTube channel. You'll also find videos and tutorials on everything art quilts, whether you're just beginning or learning to enhance your skill.